Good morning and welcome to 610 Farmer. If you are a new subscriber, welcome and thank you for joining us. So I have been at college again. So when we're not harvesting and we're not planting or something, we're not in a main season, I tend to come home every other weekend and I try to shoot 2 videos over the weekend, so that's what I've been doing. But there has been a lot of updates since I've last been here. So I'm gonna spend the morning here and go through those with you guys. To start off, many of you sly detectives out there noticed this on my Instagram post, but we got new grain hopper extensions on the 9870. The reason for that is this year we might actually try, I know in my farm machinery tour video I was like, we only run 1 combine and corn. If we have enough help this year, we might try running 2. Probably not in the same field, but in different fields. We have an 8-row head and a 12-row head, and we have 2 grain carts. And if we're not using the 8320R and 8335R at the same time, we could run 2 grain carts and then we could have an extra truck. Anyways, there's a lot of thinking behind it, but there's a chance we might run 2 combines and corn this year, so we put the bigger grain hopper extension on her. So as you can see, the sides are currently tipped down. That's because it would fit right now, but the grain hopper extension would not fit through our door if they were tipped up. So they're tipped down, and also I don't know if they clear the fan. But yeah, we're kind of buttoning it up. It's not 100% ready to go yet, but by the end of the day or maybe the end of tomorrow, they definitely should be ready to go. Also, in one of the last videos, I mentioned that we were going to be rebuilding our 635F, and we're basically getting there. So here's what the problem was. The flighting here underneath the auger was starting to wear so thin that it was starting to get holes in it. And mainly in the center section here, the outsides are fine, but the middle section where all the grain comes in the middle and meets and gets sucked into the feeder house, we're getting all these holes. And last year we just temporarily fixed it by putting bolts through the holes so beans wouldn't fall out, but obviously that wouldn't work for the long run. So what we did was we had a machine shop actually machine us some steel to fit right over top, and we welded it in. But the problem with that is that these fingers, actually he must have adjusted it last night after I left. These fingers were hitting the new steel, but we adjusted the timing, so now you can see the fingers slide by no problem without touching. Also, we have been putting new teeth on the sickle. For those of you who do not know how a bean head works, basically this sickle right here, these actually cut the beans, and that goes in between all these. So that slides back and forth, cuts the beans. The reel here turns like this, tips the soybeans into the head, where then the auger takes it to the middle and goes in the combine. Now back here in the corner behind the Princess Blue truck is something I haven't told you guys about yet. So a while back, I want to say it was late July, maybe? July, August. Yeah, I think it was late July. I kind of got in a car wreck. And it wasn't that bad, I'm fine, airbags didn't go off. Luckily I wasn't going that fast. But I kind of destroyed the front end of this pickup pretty bad. Now this is our work pickup. So at the time, it had a welder back here, it had a toolbox full of tools, had a small crane, it had a torch. So I had a torch here, and it had the acetylene and oxygen tanks, had another toolbox here. So this thing was weighted down, and it was our tool truck. We used it all the time because, frankly, we are spread out enough in our farming operation that we can't bring everything back to the shop to fix it. So this is our tool truck. We use it all the time, and it's absolutely crucial for us to have it, especially during harvest, because if something breaks, this is the first thing that we take to the scene. And yeah, then I wrecked it, and it was pretty good. I'll show you guys pictures, but basically, hood was smashed in here, this was smashed in, the radiator and the intercooler and the condenser were all smashed. I think this fender was smashed. I'll show you guys a picture. It wasn't very good. But luckily, the airbags did not go off, and it was super close to being totaled out, but it wasn't, and we got it fixed, and it's back. And then, because this truck was always so heavy, we decided to go ahead and buy an aluminum flatbed for it. Hopefully try and lighten the load a little bit, because the last flatbed we had was a steel one, and there's quite a big weight difference between them. So this just got out of the body shop last week, and we've been busy doing other stuff like that. So it's kind of still getting buttoned up. As you can see, the flatbed's on now, and it's bolted down. I don't know if there's anything else structurally needs to be done, but the fuel funnel needs to be, a hole needs to be drilled for that so we can put fuel in it. And yeah, then we can put the welder back on, the toolbox is back on. That's currently on our other work truck at the time being because we still need the welder and the generator and whatnot. So yeah. So here's what I was talking about. This is our other work truck. This is our Chevy 1-ton gasser. This is the welder, generator, air compressor, battery charger thing that I said. That was usually on the other truck, but it's currently on this one because we need it and I wrecked the other truck. But anyways, what we have been doing is we have been rebuilding. I keep saying we. I wasn't here for any of it. But we have been rebuilding our 640 FD Draper Head. So basically these belts right here, these belts slide, or these little green brackets right here, have a little wear bar behind them and they slide on that. And some of them are getting pretty wore out. So my dad took the belts off and he found that 2 of them were actually ripped pretty bad. So that's these right here. I think I can find a rip. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not a terrible rip, but that's something you don't want to replace in the middle of the field during the middle of harvest. So we decided to do it now while we're sitting in the shed and we have time. So the 2 belts on this side of the head are actually brand new, and the 2 over here actually seem fine. This one still looks like brand new. This one has a little bit of wear on the edges, but nothing that won't stop the beans from going in the head. So functionally, for those of you who do not know, the Draper Head works very similarly to the bean head. Same idea. There's a sickle in here. It's currently out because we're putting new teeth on it. Goes back and forth, cuts the soybeans, reel tips them in. Instead of an auger bringing them to the middle, it's just these belts that spin this way and bring the soybeans to the middle. And then this belt throws it in the feeder housing. Well, that's all I got for an update for you guys, and I got a haircut in a little under an hour, so when you see me next, I'll probably look fresh. Well, got my haircut, some hair falling there. Anyways, today, kind of an awkward time, so there's really not a lot of major stuff to do. It's all just kind of a lot of little things here and there, just buttoning everything up before harvest, so let's get started. So in an earlier video, we actually combined our organic rye. We did it like middle of summer with this thing. And before we did that, I had to change the concaves. And well, here's an example. There's 6 sections of concave in a John Deere combine. Well, I guess there's 3, but the concave we have, there's 6. It's aftermarket concave. But the first 2 sections are 100% full of these small grain boxes. Well, we're going back to soybeans, so I'm going to fill half of the second concave with the round bars again. So yeah, so the soybeans will be ready fairly soon. Probably our first ready soybeans will be probably end of, so you guys will be watching this on Wednesday or something, probably Friday or Saturday our first soybeans will be ready. As you can see, they're not really green anymore, they're more yellow. But anyways, this combine is still set up for rye, which we harvested back in July, I want to say, maybe early August, not quite for sure on that. But anyways, the concaves are set up for rye, so I'm going to go ahead and change it up what we think it should be for soybeans. And I say the way we think we should have it set up because, like I mentioned in my farm equipment tour video, we've always had a hard time cleaning soybeans or having a clean grain sample in soybeans with the S-Series combines. So we got these aftermarket concaves that we can have a lot of adjustability with. And last year's our first year with them, and they were a little bit better, but they weren't fantastic. So we're going to change up the way these concaves are set up a little bit this year, just to see if it helps out at all. So Dad's working on fixing up the backup sickle. He's replacing all the teeth, and right now he's zip tying them together. And pretty neat. These heads actually have a spot to store a backup sickle, just in case yours breaks out in the field. So what we're doing here is, as you can see, these are round bar. These are for corn, soybeans. And up front we have 2 rows of these small grain boxes. what we're actually going to do here for soybeans is we're going to leave the front row completely small grain boxes, help thresh the soybeans a little bit better. And then on the second row, on the left-hand side or driver's side, we're going to replace the first 3 boxes with round bar. And we're going to leave the other side with the small grain boxes, because when we tend to lose grain over the concave and rotor, it tends to be on the passenger side or the right side. So we're going to keep those small grain boxes for now, see how it works. Well, we ended up changing our minds. We only did the first 2 boxes round bar. The one where my finger's pointing right now, I know it's dark, you probably can't see it. That's still a small grain box. So yeah, we're gonna start here, and then however we think it's combine good or bad, we can change it further on.
Yes.
Finished.
You gonna straighten some of them fingers open?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Well, Dustin and Dayton have been working on this combine. They have everything done. The grain hopper's done. They have the sickle in the head, as you can see, and they're getting the spare one ready. And so this one's basically ready to go. The 780 is close. So the 780, like I said earlier, yeah, distracted me. Gotta redo that. You didn't even do anything. So the 780, like I said earlier, we're still waiting on the sickle. And is that it?
I gotta figure out my case.
Yeah. All right, but like sickle's all we need, and we're ready to go, right? Sweet, sickle's all we need, and ready to go. So thanks for watching. I know it's probably a little slow, kind of like I said earlier, just odds and ends, buttoning everything up. But next week should be a harvest video. The next video you see after this one should be a harvest video. If not, I'll have another video in place. But if the week is supposed to be as forecasted, harvest next week. See you later.